Hello my beloved friends, welcome to this video. My name is Georgia Ashara. I am a somatic, soul embodiment, sacred feminine arts, light code channeler and mentor, and today's video is about some common things that I see within the realms of my clients, and I imagine that so many other people will probably relate to this where it comes to these different parts that play out for us and maybe why we're having trouble really connecting into the body, connecting into the womb space and our feminine anatomy, and being able to fully be present and experience that connection that I think so many women really long for. A lot of women are longing for this because they come to me telling me, I want this connection, I want to do this and this and this and this, but I think that there's this and this blocking me. And the way that I'm seeing these patterns that is very synchronistic to most women that I see is really comes from dissociation, which is really interesting because this is definitely a root cause of a lot of discomfort in my life that I've had to overcome. And from there, and we don't always call it dissociation. You might not relate to it as dissociation, right? So if I'm talking about dissociation, I'm talking about not feeling the body, not feeling connected to the body. Maybe you feel a bit spacey and a bit out there, a bit further out than your physical body, and not really fully feeling it and touching it, being able to know where you are in your body, right? And this can happen through trauma. It can also happen just through upbringings, right? Just the way that we're brought up. We can be brought up to be conditioned into being very educational and learning and achieving, and these sorts of things is more important than connecting to the body if we're more academic, which is nothing wrong with being academic, but it's finding that balance, right? So these are some of the things that I see. But I also see within these people who are very academic is that they have experienced the trauma, and then the parts of them that are trying to create safety, control, maybe even feel that that they're liked, they're loved, they're doing something right, that they're the ones that then become these high achievers. So it really does kind of root through from a trauma, right? And so they haven't really had time to kind of figure themselves out, figure out their body, figure out what's going on, the changes, the shifts. They're told that this is what's important: to get the grades, to get the house, to have the children, to live a certain life. And so when it comes to their body, they don't know what to do. That's not what's been taught as they grow up, right? We're not taught how to connect to the body. And I'm talking about in that sacred, devotional way where we're feeling the body as it's this nature being. It's a being that we look after, that we nurture, and to learn how to do that, how to self-soothe, how to self-regulate as well our emotions, and to feel comfort in being in the body. Because this is another one, so many women are just not comfortable in their bodies. They don't feel safe because maybe they've had sexual experiences that have been non-consensual, and that creates a lot of unsafety. Even just from hearing this kind of thing from others, not learning about how to give boundaries, all these different things seem to lead to this sense of not understanding or feeling connected to or knowing the body and how it works, feeling like you're in this foreign object almost. And the root is obviously the parents, it's the schooling and these sorts of things. And I also experience, like a lot of my clients as well specifically, they come from this sort of sense where they do the work. A lot of people are doing the work. They're either yogas, teachers themselves, they're already into body work, or they're people who are on deep spiritual paths. and psychotherapists, all those sorts of backgrounds that they have, where they do all this kind of deep work on themselves. But as a woman, there's this other layer, and this is why I'm talking about it from this perspective of the sacred feminine arts, and that's because we have the womb space, we have the sacred feminine anatomy, which, our endocrine system, our ovaries, our uterus. When I'm talking about the womb, it's the uterus, our cervix, the vaginal canal, the labia, our breasts, all have a different connection and meaning to us, and a vibration and an energy, and they hold different energy patterns, different belief systems, different conditionings, different experiences. As a woman who, interacts with, their partner, they will connect to that person and hold that energy within themselves. The same with having a child. You have childbirth and you have a experience within that space, and that birth process is a whole experience in itself and tells a story, gives us a pattern and an imprint of a part of us that becomes a part of us, these experiences. And I would even say that the stomach relates to this, because underneath the stomach we also, of course, have that womb space, which really sits just under, the belly button. No, a bit more than under the belly button, but you know what I mean. It's like all under that area. And so many women, hold on to this energy here, and, you've got your power center, which is like, your solar plexus, or maybe we would refer to the lower dantian. So all of this is kind of connected into this lower dantian area as well. All this life force, the umbilical cord, right? Let's look at the umbilical cord for a minute here. This is where we were attached to our mother. This is a literal physical manifestation of a cord. When we look at spiritual energetics of cord cutting, clearing, we have our mother's cord, and depending how that was cut when we was younger, was it taken before she had a chance to feel that connection? Was there a consent there? Was it just taken? Same verse for you. You're connected still through your inner being to your child, any children that you've had, and their umbilical cord. This energetic, these are still energetically connected to us, and the process in which they have been severed will create a imprint and a vibration and an energy. All of the thoughts, the feelings, and the experiences that our mother was going through and experiencing and sensing is within us through that process of cultivating also your father's energy within you. There is this whole alchemical process that is taking place, and it's also a vibration. It's an energy, it's an experience, and it is a somatic imprint that we carry through from that moment of conception till now. If we haven't even addressed it, because sometimes it will need addressing, we will need to work with that process, feel and understand that through our soma, what was happening, what was going on, what needs to be heard, what needs to be felt, what needs to be understood to transform, to reach its highest purpose and gift to us, right? This is what we mean when we say, our ancestors have gifts, or our birth story has gifts, or the trauma in our lives have gifts and things, is that, it might be traumatic. There might be some discomfort in some of those experiences, but your connection to that experience and how you perceive it, how you live it now, is what is either going to be giving you a distorted perspective of reality and causing that discomfort and continued discomfort and repatterns and triggers, or you're going to be receiving the gifts because you have looked at it, worked through it, transformed it, and uplifted it into its highest form. So it has a higher purpose. So when you're able to retrieve that higher purpose, it is able to alchemize into your life and become that gift. It's becoming also then the next stage for you is to bring gratitude to that, to really nurture that in understanding, into the appreciation. And I really think that this comes in because I see this in a lot of different therapies where people talk about acceptance, and people have a hard time accepting things because what is there sometimes to accept? You know, if how can we accept something if it just feels still at that trigger point, if it's still feeling tender, painful, resurfacing old patterns that are debilitating towards us, right? So we need to find that appreciation, and we find the appreciation and the gratitude when we've really given it the time to undergo the transformation. And we can give it gratitude throughout that process as well, because we start to see, this is why, this is the reason, you know, these epiphanies, these like understandings of our journey start to become clearer when we have that safe container to awaken it, to open it, to understand its power and its potency. So if that is something that you are really wanting to experience and understand on a much deeper level, and you've been relating to some of these maybe patterns that you are also thinking, yeah, I have trouble like kind of finding that sense of connection to my body, and I want to get into that deeper sense of awareness and to uplift some of these patterns and really nurture them, so that in that loving, compassionate way, so that I can truly live in my highest purpose and destiny. Well, I am inviting you to womb initiation, to come and explore this beautiful ceremony. It's happening this Friday, and you can experience some of this too. We're going to talk much deeper, and we're also going to be going through the experience and the methods that I teach in my one-on-ones, and we're going to do this as a group together. So love to have you there, love to see you. Jump down below for the link and sign up, and I will see you there.